So for the whole system, we're using N8N. To actually get the personalized opener lines for this system, we're using a combination of VS Code, so it's a small bit of code, it's very, very simple, and then the rest is through N8N and Google Sheets, and then obviously OpenAI. So to give you an overview of what it actually looks like. So initially we have a Google Sheet, which has the actual e-commerce website. And then what we do is attach on at the end of the actual website URL /products.json !limit equals 1. If I copy this and actually paste it in the browser, what will appear is the full, let me just get this, the full latest product that's actually been published on the Shopify store in a JSON format, which is, you know, easy to understand from a computer. So what does it give us? The product title, the handle. The most important thing here is the product description and when it was actually launched. So if we go down here, we'll be able to see when this was actually launched. Let me check. So we can see, yeah, created at. You can also see published at, should be somewhere here. If I search for published, where is it? Yeah, published at. So you can see this was launched on the 21st of August, 2025. So it was actually only like 5 days ago. So it's actually a pretty recently launched product. Now they actually did create it in 2024, but they didn't upload it onto their live on Shopify store until like 4 days ago. So we use this data of when it was published, the actual product description, and the product name to start personalizing the opener line at scale. So to give you an example of what this actually looks like, using this website, by getting that data, feeding it into N8N, getting the product title and the actual product description, it's in HTML format, but we can take that out. We get this personalized opener line. We were just taking a look at the simple poncho that was launched very recently, because it was launched this month, and I almost went ahead and bought it for those amazing colors. So that personalized opener line is completely custom to a recent product that they've actually launched. So it's like, oh wow, this, like, people are actually looking at this simple poncho, and it gives a benefit based on the product description. So by putting this as a variable within the actual email opener line, so you say, hey, name, whatever the founder's name is or e-commerce manager's name is, add this personalized unique opener, it actually increases the response rates hugely. And this is done at scale for, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of leads. So right now we're sending around 5,000 emails a day. To actually personalize all of these at scale, it takes about 30 seconds to do 100 personalized first lines. So if you can see here how quickly it's actually personalizing these first lines. And the way we're doing that is through multiple parallel instances in N8N. So you can see how quickly they're going down here. There's 6,000 leads in here, or 6.5 thousand leads. So within an hour, all of these can actually be done. So if I go back to the N8N automation, after a second it should load. So how this is running is we get the Google Sheet. So we say from Apollo, this is data from the 16th of August, the last 7K leads or 6.5K leads with a manager role. We get all of those rows, then we convert the body HTML of like what looks like this into what's called a markdown format. So it just makes it a lot more readable. It reduces the actual token cost of when we input the product description into an OpenAI of like, can you create a personalized opener line for this? We don't want the full HTML because not all of that's useful. We just want the text. And that's where the markdown to, or the HTML to markdown comes in. Then what we do is we loop over those 6.5K items and we create batches of 7. So what we're going to do with this is we want to loop over them, but for each thing, we want to create a batch of 7, and then we put those 7 into what's called a sub workflow. So in this sub workflow, if I go into here and I actually open it up, it's here. Give it a second. So in this sub workflow, you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 10 instances of the actual workflow running at the same time. So my computer's slow. And all that's being done here is we're inputting those batch of 7 items. And this, in this OpenAI assistant, what's going to happen is it's going to run these through all sequentially. So 1 through 7 is going to wait till the first one's done, and then all through 7. So it waits for the first one, waits for the second one, etc. But while that actual sub workflow is running, so it's taking those 7 items in and then updating the sheet in the Google Sheet with the updated thing here. If we go back to the main workflow, we're not waiting for those first 7 to be done. all we're doing is like we're putting those first 7 in and then coming back to the main workflow and then batching the second 7 in without waiting for them to finish. So what can be done with this is then we don't need to wait for this to be done, and then we can just go 7 again after waiting 2 seconds because we don't want to hit any rate limits with OpenAI. And to get all of these, so right now we've processed around 4,000 or 4,900. So you can see here, if I select the count on these, we're at 5,500. You can see going up pretty quickly here. In terms of the cost of this, if I refresh this, with the optimized amount of tokens that are actually going in, so we're splitting, so we're not putting the whole description in, we're actually cutting it to only the first 1,000 characters. To get these leads all customized, it costs 41 cents to get personalized first lines or opener lines for 5.5k leads. So this is like extremely efficient and dialed in, and you can see it's actually very quick as well. So if you are, like, let's say sending to 5,000 people a day through Instantly or Smart Lead, running this actual execution only takes an hour. So you can run this overnight if you want, because it all runs through N8N. And N8N, just as a software costs about $20 a month. So it really is very hard to fail once you have all of this data here based on all of the e-commerce product data and this N8N workflow. So comment below if you'd like me to actually send this over, and I'll be happy to help you out.